Hello, welcome back or welcome. This is the beginning of my series on child life because I am in the process of becoming a child life specialist right now, and I see that there is not a lot of information about it on YouTube other than short little clips posted by hospitals themselves. So, this is the direction that I am taking. Stay tuned. So first things first, what is a CCLS? As of 2023, there were only 6,682 registered certified child life specialists through the ACLP, which is the way to be certified. You can't be a CCLS professionally without having this certification through the Association of Child Life Specialists. And in 2023, there was a 87% retention rate with the amount of individuals who were due for their recertification and who actually completed it. So not a large amount of CCLSs here, if you consider how many people exist and how many children are out there who need this service in hospitals. 6,000 altogether is not a lot. So according to the childlife.org website, certified child life specialists play a critical role in supporting child health and wellness, leveraging expertise in helping children and their families cope with stressful experiences in a variety of settings. They provide preparation, education, distraction, play, and coping tools, among many other benefits to children and their families. So CCLSs are helping children in the hospital prepare for medical procedures with developmentally appropriate language that they can understand. They are introducing coping strategies to help with stress, to help with anxiety, to help reduce things that will interfere with cooperation. They are providing support and distraction during procedures to help distract from pain or uncomfortable feelings, or even distracting from those mental ailments like anxiety and stress. They are distracting to help these procedures go smoothly. They are giving opportunities for play and expressive activities to encourage the normalization of the hospital stay, as well as giving these children a sense of fun in an environment which otherwise would not be fun. CCLSs are also providing family-centered care by providing info, advocacy, and support to families of pediatric patients. They are not just working with the patient, they are working with the entire family unit to help keep the stay smooth and running as positively as possible. So who do they work with? The CCLS works within an interdisciplinary team. Typically, they are answering to nurses, and they are working very closely with nurses to get an update on how the patient is doing that day, what procedures they have already had, what procedures maybe they're having later on. And they are still working with doctors as well as other individuals such as occupational therapists, physical therapists, speech therapists. This is a large group of individuals who all work together, and they are also working directly with patients, and as I said, and their family members. They are working closely with caregivers, giving information for their coping, giving information for their education, helping be that middle person between the communication with the doctor and the caregivers from time to time to make sure everything is being asked, everything is being answered. And they are also offering sibling support. So they do not only work with the patient, they work with the other children in the family to help them have coping strategies and understanding and supporting that relationship that is now altered from what it would usually be if all children are at home. Child life specialists mainly work in hospitals, but they also work in advocacy centers. Like here in Chicago, we have the Children's Advocacy Center, in which child life specialists work with children who are facing abuse or who are removed from abuse. They work in schools as well, which sometimes that title is not child life specialist within the school, but they do a lot of work with children who maybe are transitioning from the hospital back into the school setting, or helping with children who have chronic illnesses who need care while they're in school, stuff like that. And they also work in clinics, which, is also another healthcare setting, which may not be a big hospital, a big children's hospital standalone, or a children's floor in another hospital. Clinics are smaller and maybe more community based, and child life specialists can work in those as well. So the question is, how do we become CCLSs? You need a bachelor's degree, which may be in any field. It doesn't have to be in child development or public health or human development, family studies. It doesn't have to be in that. Just having a bachelor's degree is enough, because you're also going to need specific developmental coursework. So even if you have a bachelor's degree in theater musical performance, you still need to take certain courses that relate to the child life profession. These courses are 2 courses in child development, which range from birth to 18. It's usually separated from birth to early adolescence, and then like adolescence to early adulthood. A child life course taught by a CCLS, which has, I think, 6 topics that must be covered in that course for it to count. You need a family systems course, a play course, a loss bereavement course, or a death and dying course, same thing, different name basically, and a research course, as well as 3 additional coursework classes that relate to the field. So for me specifically, I took recreational therapy, and I took, what was another one I took? I took a lot of random courses that really related to it. I just remember recreational therapy and play in sports and inclusion in sports. It was something like that. And I specifically remember being that's one of the ones that I submitted for my related coursework. But there's a lot of courses you can take on the website. It'll tell you specific ones that they may recommend. If you don't go this course, you can also graduate from an ACLP endorsed academic program, which the grad school that I'm at right now actually is an ACLP endorsed academic program, but I'm not taking the endorsed route because I already finished my eligibility assessment, which we'll get into that later. We'll get in that right now actually, because once you are taking these courses, you want to pay for and begin an eligibility assessment, which I think right now it costs $80 to do it. But once you start it, you're not going to pay to do it again. You're just going to, throughout the years, upload your courses. If you're not doing an endorsed program, you'll upload all of your courses, and you have to do a little description. You have to submit your transcripts as well, so that they can cross-check the transcript with what you put in there. And the ACLP needs to verify that you took all of these courses. If you're doing the endorsed program part, then you don't have to upload your classes individually. You just say, you get your endorsement letter, you say, hey, I'm part of this program. I didn't do it that way, so I don't specifically know, but I know that you are just uploading that you are part of this program, and they trust that because this is an endorsed program, you're taking all the classes that you need to take. But if you are not like me, then you upload each class individually, and then for your child life course, you have to get your teacher that taught it for you, they have to fill out a form and verify it for you to say that, hey, we took it, we covered all of these topics, we're good. And then while you're doing this, while you're getting all of your classes done, you should also get experience in a clinical setting. So me specifically, I volunteer at an unnamed Chicago hospital on the weekends, and I volunteer in their child life playroom, child life unit, and do things such as playing with children in the playroom, or doing bedside visits in their room and transferring them from one place to the other, taking all of the trainings to make sure I can do this in the way that they specifically have with their rules and regulations. That is good because most internship sites want you to have 100 hours working in a clinical setting. You can also be a child life assistant, which is a paid position, but you are still working in the child life department, and they want you to have 100 hours with well children as well. So you are getting the full range of development experience, and that's what they want. And besides having the requirements for when you do start your internship search process and start interviewing and all that, it's still great to have the experience of going into a hospital setting and working with the child life specialist, with the children. Sometimes you're talking with nurses and whatnot if you need them to disconnect cords for you or something. It's nice to get you in that environment to see if it is actually something that you want to do before you get to the internship and decide, I went through all of this and this is not actually an environment I'm comfortable in, or it's not an environment that I enjoy working in. So it's good to get those experiences before you get to the end. So after you get all of your courses done, and after you accrue your hours working with well children and with children in stressful environments / the hospital environment, you are going to complete a child life internship, which is an internship that is typically full-time, one semester, like 4 months. and you are in there, okay? You are working. It is an intense internship because it is so short, but it is so full of information that you are just it's a full-time job, it's a full-time internship. It's unpaid typically, and you are under the direct supervision of a CCLS doing different things. So you're going through different units, learning, like you might be in an internship that puts you in ICU at one point. Maybe you're in a burn unit on another week, and you're just also completing assignments while you're doing it. A lot of internship sites will take unaffiliated students, but a lot of them want students that are in a program at a school right now, so that they have an internship coordinator at their school to also talk with. So it's a lot that you're going to do, but in the end, you are very likely going to come out ready to go into the field. A lot of internship sites will also just hire you right at the end, or create a position for you if they think that you are a really good fit for where you are. So it is a very intense process, also because it is so competitive. There are a lot of students who are trying to get into this career field with not that many internship sites. Like, there's a lot of internship sites out there, but not as many as there are students who are trying to get them. So it's competitive to get, and once you do get it, like, good for you. You are on your way, but it is competitive, which is stressful, especially considering what I already talked about. There's only 6,000 CCLSs in the system, and not all of them are qualified to be internship coordinators. So, like, luckily in Chicago, there is a good amount of hospitals that offer an internship if I wanted to stay here. But most students, I wouldn't say most students, a lot of students do travel for their internships, which is hard because it is mostly an unpaid internship. So if you're looking for internships, try to find a place where you have family or you have friends that'll let you stay with them, or like try to get, roommates, find people you can live with, because it could be expensive moving for a job that's not going to pay you. The internship does have 3 cycles, though. There is spring, fall, and summer. Not every hospital offers all 3, but it does give you a lot of chances to get an internship. But once you do finish that internship, you can finish your eligibility assessment, and that has all of your courses on it, your completed internship on it. And once you are good with that, you pay for and take the exam. I don't know how much the exam costs, but I think it's like $300. But you take that exam, and then you are certified for 5 years, because there is a 5-year cycle for maintaining certification. Every first 4 years of the cycle, you are paying a maintenance fee every year. But on that 5th year, you are paying to get recertified. And in order to do that, you can do it 2 ways. You can either pay as a member of the CLP, you pay $300. If you're not a member, you pay $450. And you do that to retake the exam. Or you can pay as a member $125, and as a non-member $225 to get recertified through PDUs, which are professional development units. So there's a certain amount you have to get every year, and you can get them through classes, through attending conferences, through presenting at a conference, through internship supervision, or through publishing a research paper or something like that. There's also other ways in which you can get PDUs, but those are just a couple of examples. My school actually 1 or 2 years ago hosted a child life conference through the Chicagoland Association of Child Life Professionals. And even though I was a student, I went to volunteer there, and I was able to look at all the presentations and stuff and helping tear down. But I could see that with each presentation, each one offered a certain number of PDUs. So it was a great way to get a bunch of PDUs, is by going to a conference, because you're going to go to so many different presentations that are all going to give you a certain amount of credits. So that is a good way. And also, it just costs less to do it that way. And it's great to make sure you are keeping up your education and keeping up your professional development and understanding new research that's coming out, new theories, updates on whatever, this, that, and the other. It's great to make sure you are staying on top of things in order to give the best performance in your professional field. So where am I in the process? I have already said this, but I already filled out my eligibility assessment. I took all of the courses I needed to take already during undergrad. So that's completely done. But I decided to get my master's. You don't need your master's to be a CCLS. You used to need it, but nowadays you don't need it to be a CCLS, but it is just, I like education, I like learning, I like being in school, so I started getting my master's for funsies, and now I am in Erickson Institute, which is a specific child development, social work, early childhood education. It is a specific grad school for those types of fields, and they have a child life concentration. I actually started in their infancy concentration, but things happened. I was told that I couldn't do a child life internship while being in the infancy because of the endorsement, and now I'm not doing the endorsement anyway, so I could have stayed in infancy. But now I have one more year of classes where I have to take another play course and another death and dying course. And then next year I will be applying for the fall 2025 cycle of internship. So it has been a long journey, I'll say, especially since I didn't have to get my master's. But I mean, I'd planned on graduating from undergrad, spending a year just working and saving up for that unpaid internship, and then also getting more hours in the hospital because I do volunteer at an unnamed Chicago hospital right now. So I'm getting more and more hours as I have been in undergrad or not in undergrad. I have been in grad school for a while now. So I have what I need. I also am a nanny, so that gets me a billion hours working with well children, and I was a daycare lead teacher in the past as well. So I have all of the well children hours that I need. But there is another thing that you can do, which is not required, but a lot of internship sites would prefer if you had a practicum, which is just like a mini internship. Practicum is more like shadowing. Internship, you do get to get into the dirt, but with a practicum, you are basically shadowing a child life specialist in a CCLS environment, which I did mine through a camp for children and their siblings, the children who have cancer and their siblings, and that is where I did my practicum. And I was working directly under a CCLS, meeting with her every day, and just basically I was a camp counselor, but within a setting of children who are, facing this illness. And I was working with their siblings, and it was a cool experience, but it was a unique experience in which the practicum was not in a hospital setting. If you do a practicum in the hospital setting, that's great because it gets you a lot of your hours. I think practicums are usually like 300 hours, maybe 270, but it gives you more than enough hours in a clinical setting for hospitals to be happy with you, and it gives you a lot of experience specifically under a child life specialist, because even volunteering at the hospital like I do, it's like, yeah, I am in the child life unit and I am playing with children, talking to children, but I'm not working directly under a child life specialist and seeing what they're doing in the children's rooms, in the patient's rooms, like you would be in a practicum. So it's a different experience, and it's great to have. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to. I don't really have time for that. But if you do have time for that and you do have the ability to do it, because it's also another, a practicum is also going to be unpaid, and I enjoy having my money so that I can pay for my rent and my food and stuff. So if you can do it, do it. If you can't, you can also volunteer and you can get those hours that way, and you can still get an internship that way. But that's where I am. I am doing my internship next year, and who knows where I'll be, because if boyfriend gets a job in a different city, I'll also look for internships there. Hawaii, Honolulu has a hospital that has an internship, and it wasn't open last year, but I'm hoping that they open it up again so I can apply, because I'll go to Hawaii. I will go to Hawaii for my unpaid internship. I will do it, because living and working there for 4 months and like being with a different community than what I would get from here is such a awesome experience that, like, I don't think, unless I move there to work, which I don't think is going to happen with me in my life, it would be so cool to do that. So those are like my top choices. Of course, I probably will also apply for some of the hospitals that have paid internships, but because there's like one who has a paid internship. I know the Great Lakes Child Life Association has a scholarship, and then the ACLP also does have a diversity scholarship, because being a child life specialist, the field is mainly white and women. There are not a lot of men, and there are not a lot of people of color. So, they have a scholarship to help incentivize other cultural backgrounds to join in, because we really do need that in the healthcare setting. But it's we are on our way. So this is the first video of my child life series that I'm going to do. I'm going to do Journey to Child Life, blah, 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 episode 1, just to document what's going on, what's it like to be a child life student, especially being, not right now, but I was a full-time student. I changed around my schedule, but being a student and working and volunteering, what does that look like? How does it go? Hopefully there's some students out there who want to be a child life specialist who maybe find this helpful, because there's just not a lot of people in this field who are making videos about it, which is understandable considering all of the caution that you have to take when talking about your job working with children in the hospital. A lot of HIPAA things going on there, but I'm not gonna delve into, hey, I was with this child who had a hernia. I'm not gonna be doing that, but still good to have this information out here. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was a little bit educational. Sorry for blabbing on as I always do, but I'll see you next time.